students of Riles. I hope you're staying safe and healthy during the school-wide shutdown. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with Mr. Borasi. I'm Michael, and this is the star of the show, Mr. Borasi.
Hey, Michael, how you doing, buddy? I miss you guys. I miss all the students at Wilson C. Riles. I know for our show, I was thinking about cleaning it up and putting on a collared shirt and shaving, but this is what I've looked like over the past couple weeks. So I thought, hey, this is what how I'll show myself to show everybody what I've been doing.
I'm doing awesome, Mr. Borasi. I just got a cat last week. Her name is Callie. So, Mr. Borasi, I have a question. How are you doing so far on this break?
Michael, I've been doing okay. I've been spending a lot of time with the family, working on a plan to provide distance learning to all of our kids, and I think that plan is coming along well. And we're going to make the best out of a really, really tough time for a lot of people.
So before we get started with the questions, Mr. Borasi, do you have any announcements for us students and or teachers?
I do have an announcement for everybody. I want everybody to make sure that you're staying safe and, really taking care of yourself and your family right now. When it comes to learning, make sure students that you are checking your Google Classroom, the page that's the WCR online learning resources on our website. Please encourage your parents to keep checking your emails and your text messages for updates. There'll be a big update coming this week about what our learning plan is going to look like after spring break.
Thank you, Mr. Borasi. That was some great information. Thanks for sharing it to us. So, since we have lots of the voice of the students questions, I'll only ask one question today, and that is, what was your favorite subject in middle school?
My favorite subject in middle school, I have to say it was physical education. Some of you know I was a PE teacher. I really loved my PE teacher in middle school. Got to do a lot of fun sports. My favorite sport was probably ultimate frisbee, just because I loved how free it was and moving, and it was a really cool game. My second favorite subject was math. I really liked math.
Wow. That is a fun subject. Now it's time for the voice of the students. Our first question is asked by Riley Mason, and the question is, what is your opinion on Nightmare on Puberty Street?
Riley, thanks for that question, buddy. Nightmare on Puberty Street, it's really second to Christmas as my favorite day of the year. I'm really glad we had the opportunity to do it. They have a lot of good information that maybe some kids haven't heard, some kids have. But I think that Kaiser does a really good job of bringing up some tough subjects, and I think it benefits a lot of our kids. So I love Nightmare on Puberty Street Day.
Our next question is asked by an anonymous student, and the question is, can you put vending machines around the school?
Yeah, vending machines. We actually used to have a couple of vending machines, but they were just for the teachers. We had a water vending machine that we used to have some problems with. But I will talk to some people and see what I can do. I cannot promise anything, but I like a good, healthy vending machine just as much as the next principal.
And the last question is asked by Isaac Rowe, and the question is, can we have a video game tournament?
Isaac, that's a great idea. As you know, Mr. Deason, he runs the esports club, and I know that they do some gaming and things. I think maybe you're even a member, but maybe you can talk to Mr. Deason and he could set something up. I really hope that we do get back to school, but if we don't, then that's something that we'll definitely look at for next year. But Isaac, that's a great question.
I would be interested in a video game tournament. You know, video games are fun, and it would be fun to play some after school. Well, if you would like any of your questions asked, please email them to keepingupwithmrborasi@gmail.com. That's the end of this week's episode. Make sure to stay safe and healthy. We will see you all next week.